It's time for The Shelf. Whangarei District Libraries Radio on Beagle Radio. Kia ora and welcome to The Shelf, Whangarei District Libraries show out of Beagle Radio, 88.1 FM if you're in Whangarei, or online, www.beagleradio.co.nz. My name's Glenn and I'm the only librarian in the house today. Normally we have two people on the show, as if you've listened before you will know, but everyone else was too busy to come today. That's right, you can boo if you like. Hiss, boo, hiss. But it's all good because we've got a cool show, well I think we do, coming up. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been reading, a rundown of some great events that are coming up in the library and elsewhere. But first, we've got a special guest in the studio, so I'm not actually alone. Next to me is Geva Downey. Kia ora, Geva.
Tēnā koe and tēnā koutou out there. My name is Geva Downey and I'm the Kaimānga Mātauranga at Wairau Māori Art Gallery, as well as a musician.
Yeah.
And a library lover.
Oh.
And you'll probably hear what happened in my past that brought me into this show with you, Glenn.
Yeah. Well, because I know a little bit about your background, but hardly anything at all. So one of my questions for you was, what was your opinion of libraries? So you've already answered that. So that's a good start.
Oh, well, actually, your band manager, Larissa, always gives me little jabs about, you're always in the library, Geva. Isn't it such a good, safe space? Love it. But way back in, maybe 2004, 2005, a friend and I were in a band called Haunted Love, and we decided to make a music video about one of our songs, and the subject is about how we want to be librarians.
That was true.
Yeah.
You did want to be librarians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that straight away qualifies you as a guest for the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's good to be
Well, you would have
here.
been welcome anyway, but that's just bonus because it is New Zealand Music Month, and so it's perfect timing having you in the studio. And I thought we'll talk a little bit about your music and that song in particular, and I believe it has more of a story to it than I'm aware. And
yeah, it does. And it speaks kind of to the character of librarians as well.
Awesome. Well, that's going to be exciting to learn about that. But first, I wondered if we could just talk about your mahi that you do at the Wairau Art Gallery.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
So can you tell us about what your role is, how long you've been there?
I guess I've been there for about 1 year. And the Wairau Māori Art Gallery is run by a board of volunteers, people who've worked in arts industry for a really long time. Some people who wanted the project to happen had since passed, but it was a much needed art gallery representation in Aotearoa for a very long time. And then when the space came up in the Haunted Whasa Art Centre and the invitation was handed over, it was a really wonderful opportunity for the dream of a public Māori art gallery to kind of come into being.
It's the only one of its kind in the country, is that correct, of that particular public art gallery?
What makes a public gallery is that it is there for community to promote artists, but we do not sell any artwork. So other gallery spaces, you're probably thinking, hang on, I know heaps of Māori, kaupapa Māori gallery spaces. Often they sell artworks, or they act as agents on behalf of artists, or they're collective-run spaces. A public gallery operates on the money from philanthropists as well as state community funding.
Awesome. So cool.
Isn't
that it's in Whangarei.
Such a joyful
Yeah.
It is so cool it's in Whangarei. I've worked in public gallery spaces for most of my adult life, but never a kaupapa Māori gallery space, and it feels very different.
In particular ways, different?
I think the value of who you are and where you come from It was amazing having the chair, Elizabeth Ellis, know who my whānau were, their significance in the Māori art sector. And as soon as she started to talk about her relationships with my whanaunga, with my whānau, I felt a really deep sense of belonging there. And often in public gallery spaces, you're having to hold a line or constantly work to have a certain cultural practice happening. But I just don't have to put energy into that anymore. I can just work on reaching out to communities, learning what they need, connecting them with the artists.
Awesome. So it's been a great experience for you personally.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how those things make a massive difference.
Yeah, if you're able to bring someone closer to their family in your practice, your work practice, so good for your health.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure we could all learn from that. Yeah.
Do you have a library whānau day?
No.
Could you?
Really. Could do. Sure we could.
Cool.
I have to twist my brain into thinking how all that works, but yeah.
Your staff will think of many brains help make that happen.
Definitely. It's the great thing about having a big team of creative people.
Yeah.
How many people at the Wairau Māori Art Gallery?
On staff, we've got Larissa McMillan, my manager, and me.
Oh, 2 people.
And I'm part-time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So my role in education is, like I mentioned before, to help connect people into the spaces so they're able to see the artwork made by often their own whānau, their own whanaunga. And that was a really hard thing, working in other public gallery spaces. The other 2 major public art galleries I worked for was Dunedin Public Art Gallery and Auckland Art Gallery, both for quite a few years. And you would see a lot of people appreciating the art, but hardly ever the families of the artists. And that just felt weird. That's a bit weird, right?
So just looking at it as a superficial bit of art and that's it? Is that what you mean, or not thinking any deeper about it?
The people could have been really moved and deeply touched by the art on display, but the same opportunity to have experiences with art was not always available for the cousins of the artists, or the parents of the artists, or the moko of the artists. And
so that's all part of the work you do now?
Yes.
That's so cool.
One of the many parts of it. Yes.
Well, I know one part that I have personally experienced was you giving us an awesome tour and showing us around the exhibition. I can't recall the name of the exhibition.
Yes.
There was lots of different artists.
Tokatū. Tokatū's now in Whakatāne. It travelled down there about a month ago, and it's on for another 3 weeks in Whakatāne as well. It's a group show, 9 kind of more senior Māori artists.
And a couple of teams from the library, small groups, went and we had a look around the art gallery, Wairau Māori Art Gallery, and Geva here gave us a tour, pointed out different things, and then we sat in front of one piece of art for some time, stared at it, drew it, discussed it, and it was really mind-opening to do that. Yeah, because, well, for me anyway, and I'm sure we ended up having a massive chat about it, everyone noticing different things, and just taking more time probably just to really look at something closely. Started noticing small details, bigger details. So it was really fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you have a chance to go, how do you get a tour? Are you available to tour, or do you just tour groups, or is it individuals? Or?
Well, education programs are free, and so you can just flick me an email. You can go onto our website to do this as well, or you can send an email to education@wairau.org.nz. find us on Instagram. That's pretty easy too. On Facebook, all those places. Wairau, Wairau, 100 Waters, Wairau. And then book in a time with me. Yeah.
Super cool. Yeah, so if you're at a school or something like that, you can take school groups.
Yes.
Yeah. How many? You see a lot of groups?
School groups. A huge variety. Community groups, school groups, kura, different configurations of how people come together. Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I, if you're listening and you're interested, reach out because that was really great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I loved getting to know your team as well. You really get an insight into these massive inner worlds that people are carrying around with them, are kind of bumbling around through the day, and then you give people a chance to sit down and explore something intriguing, something an artist has spent a great deal of their time and consideration crafting, and those big worlds just open up in front of you. I think it's the best job in the world.
Yeah, I imagine. A very interesting one, and probably quite rewarding, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I took a photograph of that big painting that we were sitting in front of, and I don't remember the artist.
Oh, that's James Ormsby.
James Ormsby. It was an amazing work. I took a photo of it, and a completely different perspective. Looking on a screen at home, I saw something completely different than I saw when I was there, which I found really weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it may have flattened the perspective more, so I would have been drawn more to shape rather than the form distracting you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So a big learning experience for me. It was great.
Yeah, cool. Welcome back again. I loved the library staff. Often reflective people, librarians. Yeah.
So you've thought about librarians a little bit.
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot of it. What would be better? Should we play the song first and then come and talk about it, or would you like to talk a little bit about how the song, this one particular song, came about? And the song I'm talking about is called Librarian. So you've written a song about Librarian, but maybe that's getting too fast, too soon, because maybe we should talk about you're a musician as well.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I went down to Dunedin to study music.
Ah, did you?
That was after my first year of art school. And...
Like classical music?
I got in with guitar, and then guitar got very, very difficult, and so then I switched to a voice performance degree. But then I started getting into art history and really enjoying those papers all about art and music. So I guess a bit more like ethnomusicology. It's probably the name for it back then.
Yep.
It's morphed a bit since.
Has it now? Well, I studied a bit of ethnomusicology. What a fun subject that is.
Hey, what
Music
a fun,
of the world,
yeah.
That's not work at all.
No. Yeah.
Okay, so you studied music down in Dunedin?
Yes, and then while working at the Dunedin Public Art Gallery, while I was studying, I met Rainey McMaster, and Rainey and I struck up a really big friendship, and part of that big friendship was music making. And this Librarian song kind of came out of that friendship. And back then you couldn't just shoot a music video on your phone. It involved kind of complicated equipment and technicians that knew how to work the equipment and storyboarding and the whole shebang. But down in Dunedin, they had a film school called the Natural History Film School that made a lot of content for National Geographic, big dome that you look at, IMAX, all kinds of things. I think the school's since closed, which is devastating. And we knew 2 filmmakers from there, and they helped us put it together. But we didn't have any money, so we didn't really know how to do it without any money. We needed $200.
Okay.
So then we asked all of the staff at the Dunedin Public Art Gallery if they'd like to be bronze, silver, gold, or diamond edition producers. and you can probably see where that's going. I think bronze was $5 koha,
Yeah.
silver $10 koha.
And you raised the 200.
And we raised the $200.
Awesome.
And then we made the music video for the song. I don't know, maybe you want to play the song.
Yeah, let's play it. So I'm getting this off YouTube. It is available on YouTube if you want to see it, but you can listen to it here. This is by the band Haunted Love, and the song is fittingly called Librarian. All right, that awesome song was Librarian by Haunted Love. One of the singer-songwriters is with us with me in the studio, Geva. Great song.
Thank you. It was so fun to make.
Did you, obviously, if you get a chance to look at the video, it's on YouTube. Just search up Librarian by Haunted Love. It's a bit film noir or something, would you say?
Yeah. Well,
black
it
and
was
white.
inspired by a horror by Cindy Sherman, the artist. You might know her as like a collage text-based artist. It's been around for a bunch of decades. And and she made a movie called Office Killer.
Ah, okay.
Very 80s, very PVC, very shoulder pads,
Right.
very patronising comment on a coffee mug, and office workers just had enough. She is done. And by the way, in your office, Cat Lady is probably most likely to be your office killer.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take that one back.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably multiple choice for Cat Lady where I work,
Oh,
but
really?
but there's one in particular that I'm thinking of. So
As
I
a
will,
joke, I think she'll find it funny.
Yeah. Well, we'll make her listen to this first, and then she can.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat to her just quietly. So yeah, cool video. Check it out. But what about the recording of the song itself? You mentioned a living room organ featuring. Do you remember?
Yes. Now the Zachary Enchanter is sort of like the sound foundation of our group Haunted Love. It came from Invercargill, and neither of us had driver's licenses, so we had to carry the giant living room organ to all of our gigs, and we were prolific performers, so we were playing all the time, and slowly the cab companies in Dunedin
You were loading it into
blacklisted
cabs.
yeah, we were loading it into.
Aren't they
It's
quite
not that
big?
Yeah, they're big and awkward and heavy. And then one of the engineers we often worked with, Tex, helped us Frankenstein it and kind of chop it into modules.
Okay.
We'd have to travel with like a drill. Sometimes if she overheated, the tempo would go out. On the
because you're playing the
beats.
drums off the pre-programmed or whatever.
Disco 2, Rock 1 stuff,
Yeah.
Foxtrot. But yeah, and sometimes capacitors will blow out, and then you have to zip, 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 and like do a little quick
Really?
check the schematics, like pop in an extra. Yeah.
Okay. Far out. So, what year was this? This was like 2000s.
2005.
Okay. So, not quite super digital computery at the stage. People probably weren't playing keyboards through their laptops, or maybe they were. I don't know.
It was just starting to come. It was just.
Carrying around a huge organ is like a throwback to the 70s, though, I would think, like when they had those huge Hammond organs. And people got into the way from that, I think, for this very reason.
Being at
rockers,
music school, you could imagine how many prog rockers were around. It just encouraged the situation, along with being around a lot of flying nun people who encouraged the effort even more. Probably without them would be like, too hard.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of cool going to the length and all that trouble to get your instrument to the gig. I think people would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Don't you think? It's like a remarkable effort.
I know.
So the band's not
really
together.
Hard when we went on national tours.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
So you did some national tours, and did you win an award for it?
We were nominated for a New Zealand Music Award, but that was for our album cover. Yvonne Todd, the photographer, she tutored at Wycliffe for a while. You probably recognise Yvonne Todd photography if you saw it. Think Young and the Restless.
Okay.
And she did the kind of portrait cover of the album we eventually made, and that got nominated for a New Zealand Music Award.
So you did some national tours?
Yep.
What was that whole experience like?
The energy put into logistics,
Pretty
it was
hard?
a lot with the living room organ, and also all of our other stuff. Like we just had amps that were too large, and
was it just the
heavy
two
old
of you?
70s Casio. Sometimes we'd bring in a third member every now and again, like guitars and things like that. But sometimes a drummer would pop in. But yeah, the core was just the two of us most of the time.
Wow. And you're not still performing as Haunted Love now?
No, just because Rainy's over in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a long way to cut an organ.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or vice versa.
Which, I know. in New Zealand and their strict overhead locker policies.
It's probably more than your 23.
Cages.
Yeah, overhead locker. Yeah, good luck with that. Maybe under the seat in front of you.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Great song.
Yes.
And you said, so you're coming from a place of loving the library, but this song then took off in some unexpected ways, did it?
Oh, yes. So we made the music video and then uploaded it onto YouTube, and then way back 2005 or 2006, sharing wasn't as normalized as it is now. And then we started to see the views go up and up. And then in the course of 3 days, they skyrocketed, and the hits were coming in from places like America and Japan, heaps in Germany, a crazy amount from Germans for some reason. And I think it went up to, and this was viral standards back then, 100,000 views, which is kind of like people expect 100,000 likes on Instagram now. But back then that was massive. And so we ended up doing a massive press junket around New Zealand at the time because that was a big deal back then. And then the video started to show up in some strange ways. It was part of this competition circuit in America. I'm not sure if all states participate in this, but there is like maybe 6 states that are really, really into it. And librarian staff form a team. It can be 4 people, it can be 30 people. And they have these like large stadiums, huge kind of those massive high school basketball arena spaces, and they bring their shelving trolleys, and they have to come up with like an interpretive dance to music, but incorporate the books and do a mock like shelving the book interpretive dance routine. And then you could imagine how Librarian hit the market for that.
Okay, so you're getting lots of plays.
And a lot of interpretive dance routines.
Okay.
Thick and heavy librarians, interpretive dancing to the song.
I can imagine. We, when you started describing that, we used to have because the library's part of the council, there used to be a council variety show each year for staff at the end of the year. And there was one year when trolleys were used in interpretive dance, and it was a whole choreographed stage performance with trolleys weaving around the stage in certain patterns. Along the same lines.
I would just check in with the person who decided to bring in the trolleys if they knew about drilling. The name is drilling.
It would be around that time too.
Yeah.
Who knew? I thought it was an original idea. Maybe they copied it. Fantastic.
Or maybe they were part of a movement that everyone else was ignorant to.
Well, it's not something I've ever been involved in, this librarian competition. But we've talked about...
Would you be? Would you do it?
In the drop of a hat, of course, yeah.
Drop of a book.
You name the place. In the drop of a book, yeah. Turn the page, we'll be there. Wow, that's fascinating. So you were doing lots of press, touring the country. Sounds like a dream come true.
So much effort. It was so much effort. But it was very fun because we did it together, my best friend and I.
Nice.
It was very funny. But librarians, the reason if it were a song about, I don't know, I'm a mechanic, I don't think it would have gone viral. Librarians know how to share things. They know how to network. They know how to look for... and they're very vain profession. Oh,
really? Controversy? Yeah. Okay, very vain. In what way?
Well, you've got to show about libraries. You enjoy celebrating the profession, maybe. That's a better way of putting it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't... Yeah, okay. Well, you heard it first here on the shelf. Well, here we are. We're doing it. That's what you mean. We're doing a show about libraries now. We're vain.
That's what I think.
Self-promoters.
Self-promoters.
Okay. Hey, well, you're welcome to have a Wairau Māori Art Gallery show.
Well, that would be amazing. We've got...
You could bring in the organ. You could play your own theme music.
Incredible. I'm thinking more about the artists,
true.
interesting artists that come up.
You could do some live artist talks. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
you're quite right. Vain navel gazers. You're also a psychologist as well as a... Hey, well, thank you so much for coming in and chatting about the art gallery and the music and the song. Is what's happening at the gallery at the moment? Is there a exhibition on that you'd like to tell people about?
Oh, yes. Turameke Harrington, who's got an industrial design background, and she's kaitahu artist, is incredible with material. She has been quite busy lately. The exhibition space is full of not only paintings, kind of sculptural like works. It also has a beautiful motiatia that was written and I guess kind of shaped with Turameke by a rapper named Komi, an artist who's based down in Littleton in Christchurch, and he's helped Marlon Williams write his new album as well. So Komi works with Turameke in naming her artworks too. He's a te reo teacher who specialises in kaitahu meta dialect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's beautiful to have that kind of pita-pata of kaitahu dialogue, kaitahu kōrero in the gallery space as you walk around through.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's on now for how long?
It's on for... I got to double check the end date. I think it's on for another 5 weeks.
Cool. And so if you didn't know, that's in the Hundavasa building, and you just go in the front door and then make your way into the Wairau Māori Art Gallery space.
Yeah, and if you have a group that would like to come through, send me an email and I'll take you around.
Perfect. Do it.
Would love to see you. Would love to hear what you think.
I'm sure everyone will be impressed as I was. So yeah, I'll look forward to checking that out. Thanks so much again for coming in, Geva. It's been fun.
It's been fun. Thanks for having a librarian's show.
Yeah, well,
Love
it's the vanity. I can't help ourselves.
Yes.
And of course, we're going to go back and we're going to immediately work on some routines that we could do with the song.
I'll be front row centre. It doesn't even have to be the librarian song. Just do some of that interpretive dance routine with pretend shelving. I'm there.
There was during the Fringe Festival, nothing to do with librarians, an interpretive dance group did come in to the library and did dancing with books. Sometimes they had live music. Sometimes they just had music playing through a speaker. But that was just popping up. They just popped up and...
did like an activation.
Yeah, and they sort of moved and they weaved all around and over and through each other with a book each. So it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, I love that they did that.
So
I'd love to see more of that.
Good idea for the next Fringe Festival.
Yes.
Hey, we're going to finish with another Haunted Love song. This is off your album Spirit Revival.
Mm-hmm.
What year did that come out? 2011.
Everything's either pre-children or post-children. 2011.
There you go. And is that the award-winning cover?
Award-nominated.
Award-nominated cover.
Yes.
I hear award and then I just think it's a winner.
Yeah. Oh, I should do that too.
Yeah. And the song we're going to play is Teenage Fever. All right. Thanks again, Geva.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Ka kite.
Ka kite.
I'm drinking beer from a can, and I'm doing all I can.
You're still listening to The Shelf, Beagle Radio 88.1, and The Shelf is, of course, a show vainly about libraries, community, culture, and stuff. And I still have Geva in the studio, and you heard a couple of songs there by Haunted Love. The first one was Teenage Fever, and then, because we were still talking in the background here, we played Robot Boyfriend. So you can find those online on Bandcamp, which is a good place to start, or there's the Librarian song, which is on YouTube. Not sure if it's on Spotify. I didn't find that on Spotify.
I think it dropped off Spotify. I'm not sure why. It would have to do something to do with either our publishers or our record label.
Yeah.
But I haven't followed it up.
All good. And while we were listening to the songs, we also started talking about books, and I thought Geva was walking out the door, and then I said, well, I'm gonna talk about books, and Geva said, well, I could talk about what books I'm reading. And I was like, well, you're a perfect person to have in the studio. So what are you reading at the moment, Geva?
Well, I also wanted to plug Wairau's excellent book collection that we sell. A whole lot of books around Māori culture, but especially around Māori contemporary art.
Yeah.
So most of the time, my reading centres around Māori cultural practice, Māori contemporary art. And Toi Te Mana just won the Ockham Book Award. And that is written by Narino Ellis, as well as Deirdre Brown. And the third writer who's since passed, who was on the Wairau Māori Art Trust. Oh, gosh, I feel terrible forgetting his name. I will remember it later and tell you about it.
You tell me later, yep.
But it's an Indigenous account of Māori art history. It's the first in the world of its kind. So Māori artists are often written about, but not by Māori.
Yeah.
And now this is, the first of its kind. It's incredible. It's such a gorgeous book and very easy to use. So that's one thing I'm reading.
What's that one called again? Tell us again.
Toi Te Mana.
Toi Te Mana.
It's, large, dark, black book. And they've just been giving talks at the Auckland Writers Festival. And also Hine Toa is the book I've been listening to. It's like an audio book. It's read by the author as well. Hine Toa, let me get the title right. Hine Toa, A Story of Bravery by Nahuia Te Awe Kotoku. And Nahuia Te Awe Kotoku is an art historian as well.
Yeah, I've seen that one in the library too.
So it's got the Ockham Book Award also.
Fantastic. So that's keeping you busy. That's what you're looking at the moment?
Really recommend them both.
Nice.
Big time. Oh, and Ranginui Walker's Paki Harrison Tohunga Whakairo, which is one of the few biographies on a Māori artist written by a Māori person. There are so few. There are just so few.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So if you are interested, if you're Māori and you're interested in writing about Māori art, haere mai, welcome, bring it on.
So it's obviously a needed space.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, well, I went to a public libraries conference a couple of weeks ago, and one of the guests or the keynote speakers was the author Paula Morris. And she's got connections to Ngāti Wai, Ngāti Whātua and Ngāti Manuhiri. And she's written all these books. And she's a kind of award-winning, she's lived all around the world. But I was going to talk about a few of them that I've been reading. I actually had to do the thing where I had to introduce her onto the stage. So I had to do a quick,
MC.
just for that particular section.
Oh, that's great.
Unfortunately, I started reading her books. I was like, oh, these are amazing books. And
Yes,
I wanted to have a chat to her, but she had
Mm.
to rush off straight away after, and I didn't know who she was before, and so I never actually got to chat to her.
Ah.
So yeah, I read this one just this past week, this one, but I read
Yeah.
a couple of others earlier. Rangatira by Paula Morris. You read this one?
I read sections of it,
Yeah.
but not like start to finish.
Yeah, it wasn't. She actually was talking about a whole lot of stuff to do with libraries, Maori authors. So she wasn't specifically talking about any books, although she did mention this once. But this was a great novel about Ngāti Wai Chief Paratini Te Manu, who, while getting his portrait done by Lindauer,
Yep.
Starts reminiscing or recollecting his memories about his trip to England. Super interesting, great book. Loved it.
Some of his stories come
Yeah.
forward.
And
There's more and more research around Lindau's the reciprocity with the sitters in the portrait. It wasn't a just extractive process completely. He had friendships with so many of the sitters.
it felt a bit like that. And I can't recall at the end, I think the author, Paula Morris, says some of the stuff obviously is imagined, some of it's, we don't know exactly. And I don't know which bits, because it's a historical novel, so some bits will be based on fact. And then obviously she must have to fill some gaps in.
Yep.
But yeah, really interesting kind of the cultural, what's the word? Going to England into a completely different culture, the misunderstandings. Their visit kind of ended up disintegrating a little bit while they were over there. Like the party of Māori people that went over there kind of didn't end so well.
The
in so many
relationships
different
became
ways.
fractured.
Yeah. So that was a fantastic book. Recommend that one. This was the one I read first. This is called False River, and this is
I've never read that.
just super interesting. And this appeals to my lack of attention span.
Oh, 'cause
So
it's
short stories and essays. And I just love essays because they're short, and
And they state what it's about. They explore what they just said it's going to be about, and then they fight. Like the final part is, and that's what that was about.
yeah. But at the same time, she's very clever at weaving in all these multi-levels of the story.
Ah, cool.
Like there's one about the Little House on the Prairie books author. Do you know those? Have you ever read those? I never read them. Or Little House on the Prairie was also a TV show in the 70s. So that's one of the short stories about the whole background of the authors, and it's super interesting. Might go into all the details. There is a great essay about her trying to trace the path of Robert Johnson, the blues musician, when she's in Southern America.
Like following in his footsteps,
Kind
how
of.
he moved and where he decided to go.
Yeah,
or-
visiting the places where he would have lived, and just I don't know,
Yeah.
sort of. It's
trying
not-
to re-evoke. what
She's
life
just
would be
really
like
just
for him.
telling a story of her wandering around from place to place,
Ah.
describing what she sees. Just really cleverly done. I can't actually explain. I'm doing a terrible review of that one. But I really enjoyed her short stories and essays. And this Shining Land, Looking for Robin Hyde, is a super cool book. Again, great for someone with limited attention span like
It's
me,
got pictures.
because it's a picture book for adults. So I do love children's picture books. And this has got amazing photos by Japanese photographer Haru Samishima. And it's telling the story written about Robin Hyde's kind of tragic life and some of the places she went, and then they've visited around the country taking photos of different locations. So yeah.
I have to tell you, from looking at some of those images, it's a bit Angel at My Table.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, Janet Framey.
probably right. I found the photos because they're kind of brooding. You'll have better
Yeah.
words to describe
Well,
the art
especially
than
the
me.
institutional spaces.
Yeah.
The chipped paint on the steel frame of the bed.
That's right. It's still
Stuff.
there.
Yeah.
So it's really thought-provoking, and I read that one on a plane, and it was put me into kind of a nice creative kind of space. Yeah.
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 Yep.
So that's what I've been reading.
Oh, good choices. And you got the chance to introduce her. How did you decide to summarize her introduction, because she's done a lot of stuff.
I know, it's quite hard when you haven't actually met someone either to find out. I just gave her a look on her website and gave a brief introduction of some of the awards and fabulous things she's done.
I know, because when you know someone, you know that the right tone to hit, you know how much humour to use, how serious, whether they need to be pumped up before they get on stage, or whether your kids, whether they prefer to be recognised as quite humble.
Yeah.
It's not just who they are, it's their idea of who they are.
Yeah. So unfortunately for Paula, she got the generic introduction. But
she has a first name and a last name. That first name is Paula. That
his name is Morris. Welcome.
Well, yes.
No. But she gave an amazing talk, and she talked about, I might have mentioned this already, Māori authorship. But she spoke to libraries. Well, I can't remember now. I'd have to go back and look at the recording because she spoke for an hour and a half or over an hour. But she had, as a big library lover, having spent a lot of time growing up in libraries, visiting libraries when she was young, and she gave us lots of amazing ideas of how to put Māori authors in a wider context of books that people read. So rather than just say it's Matariki, Puanga Matariki or Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori, we're going to have a display of Māori authors. When you're having a display about romance stories, here's a cool book that you could include in amongst a general romance display, or a family saga. This is an amazing family saga. And she was pulling all these, because she's so knowledgeable about literature, pulling all these incredible books. All the librarians in the audience were on their phones, on their apps, requesting books, and it was really inspiring.
Well, that's great. She's done all that heavy lifting already, and sounds inspirational too. Where can people find her talk?
Unfortunately, that talk would just not be available publicly.
Do you have to be a librarian?
You'd probably have to have registered to pay for that particular conference. Yeah.
Oh.
But I suppose the recommendation is to check out her books.
Check out her books, but also in if you're gonna, like you said, have a display around romance saga, you've had to have read some books that involve Māori in a romance saga.
Yeah.
So do some reading.
Yeah, that's always our plea. It's not just about us, Geva, the show. The message today is, please, everyone, do some reading.
Please do some reading.
Hey, but thanks again. Thanks for impromptu coming in and talking about what you've been reading.
Such an earnest, basic plea. Please do some reading.
Everyone, please, if you're listening. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you again, Geva, for coming in.
Wow, I really liked hearing it. Do you do that every session on this show?
What we're reading?
Book reviews.
Yeah, mostly. We just generally have a chat about what each of us is reading. In my case, it's often picture books and short stories.
Visual language.
I try.
And language.
Yeah. Now I need to cue up a song. And I'm going to play, because it's New Zealand Music Month, but not just because of that, because it's a great song. I'm going to play a song by a local band, Otium, who have released a song called Vitamins. And we're going to finish the show with that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again, Geva. Catch us back again on the shelf on Beagle Radio in 2 weeks on Wednesday. Otherwise, you can always watch it on our YouTube channel. Didn't get to talk about upcoming events because we talked too much. But that's all good. It was fun.
Yes, it was great.
All right. Ka kite, everyone. This is Otium and Vitamins.